Hi Aries, welcome or welcome back. It's good to see you. This is your timeless collective reading, so it doesn't matter when you are seeing this. If the message resonates, then it's for you. Also be sure to check out the description box where I will leave some journal prompts for you based on this reading. Okay, let's go right into your pre-shuffled cards and we'll see where the message takes us. So the oracle cards that have come forward for you are spiritual cleansing, fire, trust, shadow, and at the bottom of the deck is power. Now, I'm going to read you really quick the description of this symbol from the guidebook because I feel like it's really important and significant. The crown of Isis, and sometimes the crown of Hathor, is made up of the sun disk cradled in cow's horns. The sun and the cow were both worshipped in ancient Egypt as symbols of the different but equal powers of the feminine and the masculine. Okay. So, this being at the bottom of the deck, this is the underlying driving force behind everything in your life right now. You are desiring greater levels of personal power, and therefore the universe, spirit, life wants that for you too. Everything is pushing you in the direction of reclaiming greater levels of personal power. And what that really means, as this symbol description was alluding to, true power is unification of the self, unification within yourself, unification of masculine and feminine, of all parts, especially those parts of yourself that you would perceive as being at odds or not complementary with each other, right? Now, as I was pre-shuffling your tarot deck, 2 cards jumped out. Can't make it up. The Lovers and the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups is kind of like a minor version of the Lovers. This is self-unification. This is choosing yourself. Self-love. Coming home to yourself. We've also got 2 geese, 2 cups, 2 roses, and the 2 cards that jumped out together. So 2222 is a very significant angel number for you at this time. That's all about communication and union. 2 becoming 1. 2 choosing with their free will to unify and become 1. Now, you may very well be experiencing greater unification or attempted unification externally with another person, with a romantic partner or a friend or whoever. It could be mirroring to you in that way, but at the end of the day, this all boils down to your relationship with yourself. Okay? I also feel specifically through this 2 of Cups that you are being guided to hold space for your own emotions on a much deeper level. I feel like either old emotions are coming up for you right now, or they are about to. And Spirit just wants you to practice emotional containment. Give yourself presence, right? Don't try to make the emotions go away or fix them or even really try to understand them. Just be present with however you feel. That is choosing yourself, okay? That's power, right? Now, going back to these oracle cards, the next most empowered step for you to take at this time towards reclamation of personal power is spiritual cleansing. Okay, this is really what's setting the tone for the whole reading as I see it. This is what Spirit wants you to focus on right now. Spiritual cleansing. What does that mean? In essence, spiritual cleansing means release. Release everything that isn't you, so that what is you has more space to breathe, has more space to exist, to rise to the surface, okay? So this can look like so many different things. I invite you to use your intuition as always and go where you're guided. But make time. Spirit is saying, be proactive. Make time to do this spiritual cleansing and releasing. So you could do a guided meditation or a visualization to clear your aura, your energy body, right? Clear, cleanse, and release all foreign, inauthentic, old, stuck, stagnant energy from your aura, from your body even. I also can't help but notice that coming out of the eye are 3 drops that look like tears. I feel like that's a pretty clear invitation from Spirit for you to cry. Give yourself permission to cry. That is one of the most primal, powerful forms of release. You could even facilitate yourself crying if you want to. I love doing that. My favorite movies, my favorite music, it all makes me cry. I love crying, right? So you could facilitate yourself crying if you feel like you need to, or maybe you're on the verge of tears right now. I don't know. But crying is a hugely impactful form of release. You don't even have to know why you're crying. Just let it happen, right? There's also an invitation here for you to take into consideration your living spaces, your workspaces, as well as the spaces you occupy online. So maybe your physical home or your workspace could use some cleaning and decluttering, right? But at the very least, I would invite you to energetically cleanse your living spaces in the same way you do your aura. You can use sacred smoke, you can use crystals, you can use sound bowls, you can use hertz frequencies, you can imagine in your mind's eye, just like with the visualization to cleanse your aura, visualize in your mind's eye cleansing the energy of your home or your workspace. And maybe do some kind of social media detox or cleanse. Maybe take a break from Facebook or Instagram, or look at who you're following. And if there's anybody who you don't want to follow anymore, then don't feel obligated to. So on any and every level, release that which is old, stuck, stagnant, foreign, inauthentic energy, right? The more that you release what isn't yours, the more the truth of you can emerge. And the truth of you is fire. You are fire. This is passion. This is joy. This is self-expression, drive, motivation, energy. This is your authentic energy coming back to you, because you're not so blocked up and filled up, gunked up with other people's energies. As soon as you release what isn't yours, what is yours comes online. You come back online. Now, I'm seeing these cards kind of in like a chronological order. So as you release and spiritually cleanse, more of the truth of you comes online. You get in touch with your essence, right? And as a result of that, there's going to be some kind of shadow within you that arises. I think it's inevitable. It's inevitable, right? If you're clearing, eventually you're going to stumble upon some part of yourself that you forgot about, some part of yourself that you didn't even know existed. The shadow is simply what is unconscious, what's under the surface, what has been buried and suppressed, denied, ignored, etc. So it's inevitable that the more you clear and release, it's just a matter of time before you stumble across something that was unconscious within you. And you go, whoo, oh my gosh, whoa, I didn't know that part of me was there. I didn't know I felt that way. I thought I had processed that like 20 years ago, I guess not, or whatever it is, right? So when that happens, it might feel like, at first you're kind of building in momentum, and you're feeling better and better and better, and more energized, more online, more passionate, right? Feeling better because of this cleansing. But eventually you're going to hit, Spirit is saying, you're going to hit this really deep, it's not a wall, but it's almost like what you would perceive potentially as a block, or an old stuck aspect of you, an old stuck emotion, just darkness, right, within yourself that you didn't know existed. When you hit that, trust, 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 trust. This is supposed to happen. This is what all of this is for. Because when you integrate this shadow, which you can only do if you become aware of it, when you integrate it, you're more empowered. You're more you. You're more unified and whole unto yourself. So it's not necessarily fun when we come across shadows. Sometimes it's super fun, but not always. It can be a little bit tumultuous, but trust that it's because on the other side of integrating the shadow is this. Okay? Okay. With all of that said, again, we've got these two cards, the tarot cards that jumped out earlier for self-unification. Let's pull out a little bit more of this message with tarot before I go into my other decks. Where do we want to go from here? Spirit just keeps prompting me to pull cards on what you need to release. So let's do that. What exactly, tell me more specifically, Spirit, what Aries needs to be releasing at this time. It's going to be different for each and every one of you, just like this shadow is going to be different for each and every one of you. All of our stories are different, right? But this is what Spirit wants me to go into. What does Aries need to release at this time? What does Aries need to release at this time, Spirit? And now, of course, that I'm filming, my nose is just running. It waited until I started to film to run. Okay. What wants to be released with the collective of Aries at this time? Okay, I'm asking what needs to be released, and Spirit is saying themselves. Like, you need to release yourself. There's some kind of oh, interesting. I don't know why I'm touching my chest like this, but there's something in the heart apparently. There's oh, this is just channeling through right now. It's like there's a tradition you're holding yourself to. There's old expectations you're holding yourself to. It's showing up to me like tethers, like black tethers that are tying you down. Release yourself from the expectations that others have placed on you. Maybe for some of you, the shadow you need to integrate is the part of you that is attached to these expectations. What does Aries need to release? Whoa, the World. I'm hearing an old life. You need to release an old life. Ooh, I'm hearing release the need to be complete. Ooh, that's good. That's giving me chills. The World is completion, obviously. Wholeness and completion. Which you could kind of say is a reflection of, or it's pointing back to this idea of self-unification through the Power card. So it's to me, it feels almost like Spirit is saying, release this idea that there is a finish line with self-development or healing, even self-improvement, self-awakening, and self-awareness or self-love. There is no finish line. It doesn't exist. It will never end. Self-discovery will never end. Healing, it will never end. That's the truth. So maybe some part of you feels like rushed almost. I'm getting this impression of, I'm feeling it in my shoulders even. Some part of you that's putting pressure on yourself to like hurry up and be better now. Hurry up and be this perfect empowered version of you now so that you can, I don't know, do whatever you want to do or whatever. Release this idea that you'll ever be done with yourself. That's what Spirit's saying. Whoa, I love this. It's a never-ending story. It's a never-ending journey and a never-ending story. The Never-Ending Story is one of my favorite books and favorite movies of all time. It really shaped who I am as a person, and I loved it when I was 5 years old, and I knew there was something so significant about it, but that I couldn't understand fully at the time. And now as an adult, I'm like, oh, I get it, yeah. It's because it's true. Life, existence, it is a never-ending story. As soon as an ending happens, a beginning emerges, right? So can you enjoy the journey? Can you enjoy the journey to self-love and coming home to yourself? Can you take the pressure off? 1717 on the timer. Oh man, I'm just getting chills. Okay, anything else through this deck? I'm hearing nope. Okay, we're gonna go into this deck. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna pull a journal prompt for you from my own journal prompt deck. Let's see what journal prompt wants to come forward for Aries at this time. And then I'm going to pull a closing message from Into the Lonely Woods Oracle. What journal prompt wants to come forward for Aries, please, Spirit? Okay, got it. Oh, it's moments like these when I know I'm in the flow, because one thing just leads to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. And maybe that's a message for you too. When you're in flow, it's like, I know this is kind of a weird analogy, but it's like those like circus clowns that have like the handkerchiefs all tied together in their mouth, and they just keep pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling, and it doesn't stop. Like, that's kind of the experience of flow to me. It's like one thing just leads to the other, which leads to the other, and it's this never-ending unfoldment, right? And it just beautifully is all connected. I can't. This is so perfect. Okay, so you got number 57. What is the difference between perfectionism and mastery? That's exactly what I was just talking about with the World card. What is the difference between perfectionism and mastery? Spirit wants you to drop the perfectionism. Perfectionism believes there is a finish line, and it's constantly rushing to get to the finish line so that you can feel relief for 2 seconds before you set your sights on the next finish line. It's like, I can never feel okay. I can't feel okay until I cross some arbitrary deadline or finish line or whatever. I'm not okay until I cross this finish line. And then I can feel okay for 2 seconds until I become aware of the next one. It's this never-ending trail of breadcrumbs that it's an illusion, and it it's like a claw. It it makes you just succumb to such negative self-talk, such negativity. Perfectionism is fear. You will never be perfect because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Mastery, on the other hand, mastery of anything, including self-mastery, inherently within the experience of mastery, there is an understanding that there is no finish line. I, for example, will be mastering tarot for the rest of my life. I love tarot wholly and completely with every cell of my body. So why would I ever want the journey to end? I don't. I'm not desperate to get to this perfect point where I'm like the ideal perfect tarot reader and there's nothing left for me to learn. There's nothing left for me to experience or grow through or expand through. Like, I don't want that. I don't ever want to stop learning about tarot or getting better at it. That's mastery. Mastery is when you are the eternal student. The master is the eternal student. The journey never ends. So consider this, okay? What is the difference between perfectionism and mastery? And can you drop the perfectionism with yourself so that you can just enjoy it? Enjoy your life. Enjoy yourself. Okay. Okay, let's pull a closing message from Into the Lonely Woods. I'm just going to read you what the guidebook says. Closing message for Aries. This was so beautiful. This was so beautiful. Closing message for Aries. Dropping the perfectionism and enjoying the journey, that's presence, and that is what allows flow to happen. Flow over force, right? Closing message for Aries, please, Spirit. I'm seeing something about a tea house. There's something about Japan here. I don't know. This is probably super specific. It may only be for one of you. I don't know why I'm seeing an image of a tea house, teacups, like a tea ceremony in Japan. I mean, that maybe that's something you are interested in exploring. I'm not sure. Or maybe Japan is significant to you, or tea. Something about a tea ceremony. I mean, that requires supreme levels of presence, for sure, and mastery, in a sense. Closing message for Aries, please, Spirit. I give up. I don't know how many times this card is going to come out. This is like the 5th time this card has come out for myself, for astrology signs, for the collective at large. I just... Okay, number 35. The consolations of isolation. Ooh. Spirit's like, I don't care what you want. This is what everybody needs to hear. Okay. Seclusion can feed the spirit, and with that nourishment comes a rebirth. So many people and beings take themselves away from society and people, from the chatter and the gatherings and the beautiful noise that is our collective. The sense of being separate for a time is nothing to fear, for you are separate, you are unique, and you are experiencing the multiplicity through the oneness of your being. Being alone can heal us and bring us back from the dark place that is loneliness, a state we can experience even when amongst others. The comforting, healing qualities of solitude are yours, and these arrive spontaneously, unscheduled, without artifice. Your spirit desires you to breathe light right through your entire being until you shine with the radiance that is your soul. So maybe it would be to your advantage to spend some good quality alone time while you're doing this spiritual cleansing work, okay? The whole point of this is for you to come home to yourself, for you to remember who you are, okay? So clear away all that is not you. Give your soul some breathing room, okay? And enjoy it, okay? Enjoy the journey. All right, Aries, thank you so much for letting me read for you. I hope that this was helpful or at least thought-provoking. Leave any questions or comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. And be sure to check out those journal prompts in the description box. I will put this one there as well as several others. Okay. All right. Until next time. Bye.